So, welcome to Body Programs and How the Matrix Controls Your Body. It's a pretty topic. My name is Jaden Fox. If you haven't met me before, welcome. Glad to have you hanging out with us today. Um, there's this newish paradigm, and I say newish because I've known about programs for better part of 10 years, but I didn't understand until recently how impactful they are. And that totally blew my world open when I actually got the depth of how impactful they are. And how this started for me was I was working with a client and we had cleared everything under the sun, everything I knew about. And she still had really profound issues going on in relationships. So she was in a relationship that was kind of emotionally, intellectually abusive. But so we're talking about it, and we're trying to get to what's going on. And I go by what's heavier and what's light. And she would talk about it, and it would be both heavy and light at the same time. I'm like, what? What's that? How? Like, what's going on? And so at one time in one space, she'd be saying, oh, I love this guy, and we have so much fun together, and it's like this awesome relationship. It's the best relationship I've had. And at the same time, I absolutely hate this guy, and I can't stand being around him. He disgusts me. And I'm like, how do you hold both of those together? And we cleared points of view, and we cleared everything I know, and it wouldn't shift. And I kept pulling it apart. It's like, how much is this being, how much is this body with that viewpoint? And it turned out body was holding both viewpoints. Body had the viewpoint that, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread, and this guy disgusts me. I can't stand being around him. And I was like, what is going on? um, and when and she was in this profound turmoil about this relationship, and I'm like, well, the only thing we haven't cleared is programs, but they're not a huge deal. I thought they were these superficial things that just weren't and we start going after programs, and I'm like, whoa. And it blew my world open. Absolutely blew my world open. And what I found out in general is that you have in your body, or we have in our bodies, a control system that I'm going to call body programs that basically tells the body what to do in certain areas of your life. Other areas it leaves for your body and you to decide, but there's a whole other area where you don't have choice and your body doesn't have choice. Your body is instructed what to do. And these are what I call body programs. So in this program, I'm going to talk to you about what are body programs, like technically, and I want you to be able to perceive how they function in this reality and how they function in your world. So I'm going to give you indicators of how you know if you have programs running, and how to diagnose how much control they have over your body. One of the other things that we did was we were looking for what would it take to get 100% control over our own bodies. Like, that's pretty much the way it's supposed to be. Pretty sure. But that's not been my experience. I've gained more control as I get clearer and clearer and clearer, but there still is a percentage of things that I didn't have access to, and my body didn't seem to have access to. And it just blew my mind. So it's like, well, what is that, and how do you tell how much of this is going on? We'll look at that. And then some actions you can take to actually change this. So just overall, like, what's my point here? My mission, my general overall, what I've been working for 20 years now, 15 years now, the last 10 years really focused, is like, I want to become fully conscious and aware, and I want to assist other people in becoming fully conscious and aware. My goal is to exit the matrix completely. All the control systems gone. I want to be a free sovereign being and a free sovereign body. And I'm here to change this corrupted planet. Like, this planet is messed up at its core. It was not supposed to be that way. Something has corrupted, taken over this planet. And I've been diagnosing what those pieces are and how to get free from those for better part of 10, 15 years now. And we keep figuring out more and more and more. And we're really getting pretty close to being totally free, or it's the freest I've ever been or could even imagine. Like, I couldn't even imagine being as free as I am today. So like, that's where I'm headed. That's my agenda. That's what I'm about, or what I seem to be about. It's like, it's what most interests me. So as I look at the body and how the body functions, there's four general energies, general things happening in the body. The first is the authentic body, and I'm going to use the word authentic because there's program body as well. So I'm going to say authentic body, and then there's the program body, the part of the matrix that controls the body through programs. So the second thing would be you, the infinite being, or the spirit, that the consciousness that's co-creating with that body. So your body has a spirit, you have a spirit, both of those come together to co-create. Ideally, those should be the only two things in the body. But welcome to planet Earth. There are other things. You can have previous occupants. You can have, I'm going to kind of flat out say, we're all walk-ins. The people who are on awareness path, mostly. There are other categories of people, but most of us are walk-ins. Very few people were born here. We came in later. Many of us have only been here for a couple of years. Most of the hundreds of people that I work with, when I track like how long have they been here, the most recent infinite being has typically been here for a couple of years. I've been here for 10, 12 years, something like that now. So you can have previous occupants in your body. They're like remnant spirits of past occupants in the body, and we clear that through the walk-in clearings. You can have entities in your bodies as helpers, and they're like human, the spirits of dead humans, sort of generically speaking. And then you can have egregores, and egregores are demons, angels, aliens, archons, the whole host of other spirity things that we've also now learned to clear and pretty much eliminate from our reality. So these guys don't belong there at all, and if they're there, you get really messed with. So that's another category. The last category are what I call program modules, or programs, and they're controlled either passively or actively by the matrix. And for decades, I've thought this was just my body or some glitchy part of my body that would choose weird things that weren't healthy for the body or weren't constructive for the body, but there was something there causing body to choose those things. It's sort of true, but it's actually not authentic body that's choosing it. It's programs that are forcing body to choose those things, and I'll get more into that. So what are bodies? My interesting point of view about bodies is bodies are these autonomous meat suits, this thing here, that are like avatars. Like, and I'm referring to the movie Avatar, the Blue People, where they had a human who kind of uploaded into the avatar and could walk around and experience that reality through that body. That's what I'm talking about. That bodies are designed to be this vehicle that we come into and co-create with and navigate this reality. So your body is like your guide, and it knows this reality and it shows you how things work here. And but for the most part, your body wants what you want. Your body's in service to you. So when you say, I want this, your body's like, let's go do this. Like your body's like, yes. Your body's always saying, yes. How can I help you more? How can I give you what you want? Bodies love you, care for you, honor you, respect you, and they want to give you what they want, what you want. That's an authentic body. That's the avatar as it was originally designed. But some things happened along the way, and I'm just going to generically call it a corruption that has come in and attempted to take over this reality. Again, this is all my interesting point of view. And it's also learned how to take over parts or aspects of bodies through these programs. So what's interesting is not all bodies here even have souls. And that is probably like, come on, what are you talking about? What you talking about, Jaden? Well, I'm going to have you check it. So truth, allow yourself to perceive what percent of the bodies on this planet have a being, soul, or spirit in them, not the body's spirit, but a separate spirit from somewhere else. Perceive that. And what percent of the bodies here are directed by something else? And you may notice what I notice and what many people notice is that the something else is actually more. And when I look around at many of the bodies that exist on this planet, they're not run, there's no soul in there, there's no spirit in there. They're run by the programs. They're run by the matrix or these programs that direct or guide the body. And they just wake up, go to work, do what they do, come home, watch TV, go to bed, wake up, go to work. Like they just run patterns. Program people are just about running patterns. And I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I wanted to separate things a bit and begin to look at them in a slightly different way. So there are people, humans, bodies on this planet that are run purely by program, i.e., patterns, or run directly by the matrix. And there are other ones that have souls in them, like you or I, infinite beings. So that when you start to look at what's going on, all of a sudden, right away, it's not what it appears to be. It's not what we think it is. It's like, oh, there's more going on. And I'm always inviting people to ask questions and challenge this reality and look at like what's really going on. And don't take my word for it. Poke around and ask, poke around and explore, ask questions of your body, of the planet, of creation. Explore, and you'll start to see this world is not exactly what it appears to be. So my interesting point of view about programs is long time ago when this planet was created, and I won't go into my creation myth or my creation story about it, but I do have a variety of them. Bodies were brought here, as well as a lot of other things were brought here from many other places. And this was designed as a very special project. Beings came in, explored this world. It's kind of like a World's Fair thing that went on for an extended period of time. Beings came in, played around, explored around, and then got bored and left. And so there was this event that occurred, and beings came in, did stuff here, had a cool experience. And that's where I think most of us have a memory of the Garden of Eden or the magical place and all the magic that occurred and all the cool things that were happening here. That to me was a long time ago, or in a different space and time than we're in now. That at that time, there was this pattern in place to train bodies that we called programs. And this is before the matrix came in. And it was basically a way of recording effective patterns from masterful people, like somebody who was a brilliant musician with some instrument. They could record that, and that would be a program. And anybody that wanted to explore being what a masterful musician with that instrument would be like could download that program and explore what that felt like. And bodies could use this to learn. It was more like a personal trainer or some kind of coaching system that would download into the body, and bodies had complete choice and autonomy. They could function completely without them. They didn't need programs, but programs gave them other experiences. Like, what is it like to have infinite beings who do this and infinite beings who do that? And it recorded peak experience and masterful things for others to play back and others to explore. And that was kind of the original idea of the construct. And so it's like how much it was used varied from person to person and what was going on. But over time, that got corrupted. So we left after a while, and this planet was kind of hanging out, and bodies kept doing exploration and growth. But along came interference and found, ooh, here's this gem of a place that's got all these cool resources, and nobody's really doing much with it. We could use this. And so they start coming in trying to figure out how things work, and they corrupted or moved into the system with their energy. And the I often call it an alien energy because it's they don't think the way this planet thinks. They don't think the way we as infinite beings think. They think in a foreign way that doesn't work in this reality, that doesn't plug into this reality. They think backwards from this reality or different from this reality, but they see this reality as more of a resource that they can harvest or they can use or they can control or get energy from than a place they can come and co-create and build more, like kind of typically we do. Um, so I'm going to skip that. So over time, the original program system became corrupted. Bodies were originally, it was a voluntary thing. Bodies chose it if they were bored, they wanted to explore. They might not have an infinite being in the body at the time. So they're like, well, let's do something. Let's download this program and explore what this is like or explore what that's like. But then corruption came along and forced bodies to use programs. And they did it in these manipulative ways that I'll get into a little bit later. But basically, bodies have been blackmailed, and through fear-based entrapments, they've been forced to hold on to programs. They've been forced to take in and allow programs to control some portion of them. Originally, it was designed that when an infinite being came into the body, those programs would exit. The authentic programs would exit. That's been changed. That's been removed. So now when an infinite being comes in, the programs stay there. And the programs actually think that they own the body, that they run the body, that it's their body. And you're the perpetrator. You don't belong here. You're like hijacking this body. So they have a very contentious relationship with you, the infinite being. So it's like if you've ever felt in your body this resistance to you doing what you want to do, especially if it has to do with awareness or growth or becoming more, it's typically programmed because your authentic body doesn't think that way. Your authentic body wants to support you in any way it can. Program feels you don't belong here and you're reckless with the body. You don't understand the body because you don't run it the way programs do. You run it totally different in a way that programs don't actually understand how you function in the body, because we function completely different than the typical interference in this body does or has over the millennia. So what are indicators of that you have programs messing with your body? So here's a couple of them that I found. Feeling that something else is controlling or manipulating or altering your body. Like you might set a course or direction. This, you tell body, let's do this. Let's get ready to, like, I want to lose weight. I want to get down to this. I want to do that. And body might be like, yeah, okay, let's do that. But then boop, something shifts. And it's like, no, you get that resistance. That's program resisting you. So anytime you feel controlling, manipulating, or something altering things in your body, that's not your authentic body. It's typically programs that feel they have the right to do that. Some people will think of it as AI because you can feel it's not a spirit, it's not alive, but it's intelligent. And I argue with the AI thing, and that's why I'm kind of calling it out here, is it's not AI. It's not as even as intelligent as the current AI we have, which is not super intelligent yet. It won't take long, but it's not super intelligent yet. This is more of an older programming style that's supervised by some hierarchy of beings, aliens, energies. I'm just going to generically call the matrix. There is program in there, but it doesn't have the intelligence that AI does. After working with these programs, they learn, they watch, they learn, but they learn slowly. AI is like, bam, they're not AI in the way that we currently think of them, but they are software driven. But there is some non-software driven that runs the show at a higher level. If you ever have body doing the opposite thing of what you prefer, and you don't feel like you're able to change that, that's program. Because your body is designed to give you whatever you want instantaneously. Like to like, you want to do this, body just goes there. Like you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to talk body into it. If you desire it, your authentic body desires that for you and will take action on your desires. So anytime you give your body directions and they're ignored or it does something different than what you said, that's not your authentic body. Another experience I had that drove it home for me is I had an old girlfriend long time ago, even before this being, contact saying, "Oh, I'm going to kill myself. Can you help me?" So I'm like, "Oh man, this is messy." And I contacted just to check in and say, "How you doing?" She responded back going, "Oh, I'm fine now. It was just I was in a bad space and nothing to worry about." But then my body was so weird. My body kept trying to energetically fix and change things in her reality. And I tried clearing it. I tried doing everything I could. It wouldn't change. And I've not had that experience like that before. It's like, I'd say, body, you need to cut. You can't keep going into her reality and trying to fix her or help her. You need to separate. And body's like, I'd like to, but I can't. I have to do this. Like, what do you have to do this for? I have to do this. It turned out it was a program that was doing it. I cleared the program. It stopped. We no longer went into her body no longer went into her reality anymore. So it's like that showed me like I couldn't even force my body to not do it. I couldn't convince my body. I couldn't clear anything to change it. Body was driven to do it. So it's like a program that tells your body to do something overrides what you tell it. That was deeply disturbing to me, and very inspiring for causing me to learn how to clear programs. um, so if you have weird body sensations that surface, that they usually come up in a way like you're deciding, oh, I'm going to go do this today, or today's my day to do something, and then all of a sudden weird stuff comes up. You feel sleepy or blurry or powerless or just incapable. That's program. So it's like anytime you have stuff kick in and there's no obvious reason for it, it like you start getting emotional about things for no reason at all. That's program. Program can turn things on in your body, and it can turn on emotions, it can turn on panic attacks, it can turn on sadness, depression, feeling powerless, sleepy. I've experienced it all. I get rid of the program, we're back to normal again. It's that quick. It's powerful. Struggles controlling diet. I've bumped into that a lot. Overeating, eating unhealthy things, even things that I know get my body sick. If you have body desiring things that you know get your body sick, and you have to stop your body from eating those, that's programs doing that. That's not your authentic body. Your body would not choose things that would harm it or get it sick. And it would also listen to you. If you're like, no, we are not going to eat that anymore, your body that wants to serve you and give you what you want would go, no, I'm not going to eat that anymore. Your word is law, or should be law. Programs override that. So if you get weird stuff like that, that's not your authentic body. That's program messing about. I've learned addictions to alcohol, cigarettes, sugar, or other substances. Anytime you feel driven or you have to use it. So one way of sorting it out is authentic things. Like if you're asking body, what do you want to eat? And bodies, and you get like two choices. You're like, oh, what is this? Like you get two choices pop up simultaneously. And it's like, well, which one is the real one? Body, do you want this one? Do you want that one? You can sort it out by going, what is my authentic body wants this, or my authentic body wants that, and see which one is lighter, because authentic body isn't program. So like that works to figure that out. But it's like that drive to use those things, that's not your authentic body. That's program. Program is quite happy. Program so doesn't like us being in these bodies that it is not opposed to doing things to take out the body. It won't overtly kill the body, though it kind of plays on that edge. But, or I haven't seen it yet. Not yet. But it will do what it can to harm the body in where it sees opportunity in doing that. Weird emotions surface at key times to block you. So you've got something important coming up, and all of a sudden you get unmotivated and you can't do it, or depressed, or anxious, or angry, or lonely, or upset, and there's no reason for it. It's not like you got a phone call from somebody and then it's like just out of the blue, weird stuff just turns on. Now, it can be other things. You can have entities, Neanderin, and things like that. But if you look at the pattern long enough and it's there trying to obstruct something you're attempting to do, that's a program. This one I notice a ton. Females have this more than males. This programming that draws them to partners that are completely inappropriate for them. It's like they're attracted. They have like these rules that are programmed in that says the ideal partner looks like this, acts like this, smells like this, you know, behaves like this. Those rules are typically run by program. So it's interesting if you watch, if you follow that connection, if you allow that attraction, that programmed attraction, you'll attract these partners who your brain goes, wow, this guy's amazing. But you as the being go, oh, there's something not right here. Like it's not like all in. There's a part of your body that seems in, but there's a part of your body and you that's also like, there's something really weird here. But if this part's really strong, you can't even see this. You're so like enamored, you're so drawn into, it's almost like you're mesmerized, you're hypnotized by, oh, this is such an amazing person. You can't see that they're actually a narcissist and they're manipulating you and they're actually really quite nasty. Like you almost can't see that. You can see it in other people. You're like, wow, how can they stay in that relationship? It's so abusive. It's program that has them staying in that relationship. The being in the body, the authentic body and authentic being are not choosing that in most cases. So if you have that rolling, and it's common in this planet, programs, you clear those programs and all of a sudden you can see things you couldn't see about the people that you've been who've been your partners. All of a sudden you're like, oh, I never noticed that before. I never noticed how much he puts me down, and I never noticed how abusive they are with me. Yeah, you'll start to see things. I've noticed odd or unusual medical issues, especially ones that generate suffering or discomfort. Bad PMS, migraines, weird hormone imbalances, dizziness. That one I found, like they programs have a way, not in all bodies, of turning on this dizzy thing that I've learned how to reseat the crystal in the ear. I'm not exactly clear on how they do that yet, but somehow they can turn it on. I would get it before important, like I'd be ready to do a presentation on some important thing. And the morning of, I'd wake up dizzy, like, oh, like head spinning, can't get out of bed kind of thing. I've learned how to deal with it over the years and how to quiet it down and shut it down and make it go away. But it's like, what's turning this on? It turned on at key moments in my life to mess with me. That's how I figured out there's something going, that's not normal. Any strange body symptoms you get where it's like doctors can't figure it out, start looking for programs there. Um, if body feels like it's being punished or suffering for doing bad things, like you feel it in your body, like, I feel like we're being punished, and you're like, you're struggling with stuff, but you got this feeling of like, we're being punished. Now, other egregores can do that as well, but basically, if body is not following directions, like if you push body to do things that programs say no, body, as long as you keep driving body, body will do what you ask it to do. As soon as you relax or go to sleep or whatever, programs will kick in and they will punish body for for doing, going against what the program said and following what you said. I don't notice that too often, but it can happen. So if you notice that kind of sense of being punished, I would go looking for programs there. This one is near universal. If your perception of, you ask your body, what would you prefer, this or that? And you're looking for which one is lighter, which one does your body feel is more interesting or more spacious or more creative or more fun versus something that's heavy. If you notice that it's confused, this is programs. Programs will do this all the time, especially once you get used to using this. So if your heavy or lighter is messed up in when you're asking your body for information or you're tuning into your body to see what's true, it's programs messing about with that. Other things can do it as well, but programs are just really, really good at it, to the point where um, I can ask, how much is this my authentic body? How much is this program? I can also ask, so program bodies, when body authentically desires to do something, it's a want. When programs initiate something, it's you have to do that. So you can, like, I could be in the shower and I have 4 different bars of soap there, or 4 different kinds of soap to choose from. And all of them are ones that my body has selected and body enjoys. But I go, okay, body, which soap do you want? And I get this one and that one. And it's like one of them, if you ask, it's like, I have to use this soap. This one I want to use. The I have to use one is one that program is selecting. Program is demanding that body choose that one just because that's the one that body authentically wants. So program chooses something different than that. So that's another way of finding, like when you get this confusion about things, you have program coming in there messing about with things. It can also be other beings in your body that are doing that. But if you've cleared those already and you still got that going on, it's program stuff. If you feel that something is trying to sabotage your body from the inside, you get strange accidents or these self-defeating behaviors, programs. Feeling pushed, directed, or driven to do things. Like you get this a lot with addiction. It's like, I have to have a drink. I have to. That's not choice. That's something is driving your body. Programs push, they direct, they drive the body. And it's typically in things that you don't want to be doing, but even things that you want to do, like my choosing that bar of soap. I know my body doesn't mind this soap, but it's, I have to choose this soap. Anything program chooses has that have to in it. Anytime that body feels powerless to change things, it's the programs being dominant that aren't giving body the space to choose what you're asking body to do. It's not your body working against you. It's program working against you. So it's again looking for that if you store in your mind that your authentic body wants to help you in any way it can, the analogy I use is like a golden retriever that just wants to love you and bring you your slippers or give you everything you want. Like it's just loving and caring. It's that golden retriever kind of thing. So it's like, tell me what you want me to do. I'll do it for you. Like that's your authentic body. And I'm not putting bodies down, but like it wants to love you and honor you and give you what you want totally and completely. That's the way your authentic body functions. Program drives, pushes, controls, demands. So when you can sort things out by looking at those two different energies, and yeah, yeah, you can find them that way. So strange problems with your body are not things that you're creating. They're not things your authentic body's creating. Those weird issues are the matrix attempting to mess around with your reality. And sometimes they do it because they've got an agenda. Many times they do it just to be irritating. Just like if I want to do this, they'll choose that. If my body wants this, they'll choose that. They just want to tangle things, make things more difficult. The program is, but the program will say it's protecting your body, or body may even have the story that programs are there to help or programs are there to protect. But make no mistake, the program is willing to take you out. The program is protecting the matrix and not your body. It has no concern about whether it takes your body out. I've watched enough areas with programs where it's doing things that no being would do to a program, no being would do to a body because it harms a body. Programs don't care. They just absolutely don't care. So what do they feel like? They feel like they're working against you. They have a need and a drive to do things in a certain way. So it's like where you might be like, yeah, we could do this, we could do that, we could do the other thing. Your body's like, well, I'll do whatever you want. Program is like, you have to do it this way. You have to do it that way. Even if it's not rational, even if it's not effective, even if it doesn't work to get you where that program is supposed to get you. Like you get a relationship program and you think, well, it's designed to give you a good relationship. Nope. It's designed to mess with you. It's designed to give you the most screwed up relationship that it can think of, that it can get away with, is kind of what it does. If it can't get away with it, it'll reorientate itself. Like if you don't accept it, it'll find something softer that you will accept that takes you off course. Like it's looking to manipulate. Bottom line, it feels a lot like a parent that's trying to control you for your own good. We're doing this for your own good, right? That it's got that controlling. It's not controlling you like alien energies or egregores do, where they're doing it just to be evil or nasty. They're controlling more like a loving parent does. It's like, we're controlling you for your own good because you don't know how to work this body and you still haven't figured out this reality. So we're going to take charge. That's kind of programs. That's what they feel like. They feel like you're struggling with your body because they're hiding as your body, but it's actually the matrix. It's not your body. And they can feel like any emotion, any sensation. I have watched them put in things I didn't even know existed. If you just feel overall yucky, crappy, funky for no reason, and you've cleared everything else that there is to clear, look for programs. You terminate that program, and all of a sudden, body just goes back to feeling good. That simple. So, yeah. So let's start asking some questions and kind of checking things. So allow yourself to perceive, what are all the feelings you experience in the body that aren't authentic to you, that don't have an authentic source to them? Just feel that cloud of information. And how much of that is you, the authentic being, sourcing that? How much is that your authentic body sourcing that? How much is a program sourcing that? And I could throw in there also, how much is an egregore sourcing that? So egregores can do that as well, but you can clear egregores. If you've cleared the egregore and you're still feeling it, program. So most of that stuff for many people is programs. This is kind of what led me here in the first place. I've got this desire to be in charge of this body. Call me controlling, call me whatever. I don't care. I should be in charge of this body. That's my gut feeling. There shouldn't be other energies that can say what this body can and cannot do, but I have repeatedly found that. So when I started to look at this, I started asking this question. So, truth, what percent are you, the being, in charge of your body? Get a feeling for that. And what percent is there some control system, something else in charge of your body? And feel that. And so if you're new to this way of looking at things, it's like we're asking a question and we're feeling the energies that come up, that surface around this. So it's like, what percent is the being in charge? And there's like a cloud of information. And what percent is some control system in charge? And what do you get there? How much are you in charge? And how much is something else in charge? And my finding of this is what really disturbed me to go digging here, is I found that it was like 52, 53% was in charge, not me. Like I had less control over my body than the control system had. Like I had 40 some odd percent. I'm like, oh, that's not good. That's not what I want. That's not what I'm choosing. Oh yeah, here's the I had 37% was free and autonomous. So it was the body had freedom to do what body wanted to do. 54% was program. 6% was something else. And that could be entities, egregores, previous occupants, identities. Like there's other things that can have a choice or try to impress a choice. But when I saw that, I was like, my jaw dropped. Oh, so assessment. So feel into this and even write this down. So, truth, what percent of your body is working autonomously? And if you want, kind of put a number to that, get a feeling for what that is. What percent of your body is subject to programs or being run by programs? Wow. And what percent of your authentic body is subject to something else? And see what that something else is. And you can unmute here and we'll share. And Joe, I'll get to your question. I've got a breaking point in a little bit and I'll get to your question. But for other people, if you want to mute and share, what do you notice here? Like, how big is autonomous? How big are programs? How big is something else?
I have only 10 to 20% myself.
Sounds fun.
Really? It's 70 to 80 programs and 10 something else. Does that make sense? That's huge.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank
Anybody
you.
else? Yeah.
This is Hannah. I feel like maybe I'm 40 to 55 to 60% in control of myself, and I feel like the rest is egregores and programs.
Okay, so how much is actually subject to, how much is your body controlled by programs? What do you get on that? About?
Maybe
And
I can't remember what I'm doing. The
okay.
It would be like 40 or 50.
Okay. Okay. And by the way, programs will feed answers to you as well. So
it's even more.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I get 60% is something else.
Okay.
So I would get 60% programs.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. That feels light. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, Chad, I get about 90% between programs and interference.
Wow.
90%.
Yeah. So so you can feel it in your body. Like you don't feel like you have a lot of control. You feel like you're in a narrow, you're kind of stuck in a lot of ways.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I agree with everything you just had to say in for the last hour or so. I'm ticking the box every fucking one.
Yeah.
I've experienced.
Yeah. But now at least you start to see it. Like before, I couldn't even see it. I was just like, yeah, there's something screwy with my body. But once I started to see this, it's like, oh, like I start to understand it. Yeah. And did you have another question, Joe?
I have loads of questions, but just say, for example, like I've had experiences where I was pulling the shit out of other people's body and the environment, and I would tell my body to stop, and no matter what I did, it kept pulling it in, and especially around people that had the vaccine. And like that's what, when I heard you talking about this, was that's so what went on there, you know. And my body's starting to do that again, and I'm saying no, stop, and it's But anyway, these are programs, 100%.
Because I went when I had that, I went through, like, I have the resources and tools that I have for clearing, and the magnitude and scope of things that I understand, like, is huge. And I could not stop my body from doing it until I cleared programs. I didn't agreements, nothing. I could not stop my body. It was driven
Yeah.
to keep taking stuff from other people. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and
No.
that, yeah, and when I heard that, and I listed a few of the series on the course, and every single one ticked the box that
Yeah.
what's my body's doing, like,
Yeah.
and it's not my body, it's whatever programs or
Yeah.
egregores or interference pulling
Yeah.
that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. It's really good stuff. Thanks.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else
Cheers, man.
want to tell me what you get percentage wise?
Hi, it's Lynette.
Hi.
Hi. I don't know how to wait. I don't know how to raise my hand on the phone.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, just unmute and roll.
Cool, thanks. So I got 53% programs, 37% autonomy, and about 10% of something else.
Wow. Okay. So you have more autonomy than most people have. Cool.
Well, we've been really working on this.
Yeah, you have. You have.
Yeah.
I can verify that.
But this is like a total freaking revelation
Yeah.
because it makes everything fall into place because
Yeah.
just feeling like you're like a dung beetle pushing a thing up a hill, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Good analogy.
And yeah, and then here's that thing again. Here's that addiction again. Here's that
Yep.
whatever again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. And the other thing is once you're just even being aware of it is helpful. Even if you don't clear it, I'm not recommending that you don't clear any of the programs, but it's like, even if you don't clear it, just being aware of what's going on brings more sanity to your world. Cause it's like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
oh, that's that. Okay. So
Well, no, and it's become, as soon as I became aware of it, it's like I have a running list of the goofiest programs, but like shit, all this time. Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Telling
Yeah.
stories is a program.
Oh, yeah. 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 Good catch. Cool. So, I'm not even gonna do that one. I don't, I don't find a lot of value in that at the moment. So interacting with other people. The other thing that I found fascinating about programs is that programs, they're similar to egregores. If you took the egregore course where you notice you could have some demonic energy or satanic energy that's kind of messing with you, and it'll draw other people to your world that have that demonic satanic energy, and they'll come after you, and you're like, what is going on? Like, how does it do that? You clear it on your side, the egregores that you have, and then those people can't come after you, or they don't come after you anymore, like, because they're working together. Programs do that too. And while egregores might be more rare in the general mass population, programs are not rare. Like, almost everyone on the planet has programs, or let me just say the bulk of people on the planet have programs. And I mean, the more you learn to look, you see it everywhere. But it's like the people who are trying to do what everybody else is doing, to be like everybody else, to do what is popular, to do what is appropriate, socially appropriate. Those are all program structures that define what those are. And those change and they vary over time, but pretty much most people follow them, except for the infinite beings, the artists, the musicians, the aware people who are like, man, that's crazy shit. I ain't living like that. Like, and the programs are keen to tell you you're off program. So you interact with a person who's being run by programs, and they sense that you're not following a program. They will tell you you should be doing this. And if you've ever had somebody who you don't even know very well, but they tell you you're not doing this correctly, you should be doing this, or they tell you you need to get back in the program. Like, you need to be following this. You need to be, being like everybody else. That's program. The programs in others will tell you when you're not following the program. So programs use external enforcement as well. They will challenge you. So you can see bodies who get off program, who are run by programs, but get off program, other bodies will get them back on program. So if you see somebody running program, but they're kind of floundering and they're whatever, other bodies that run programs will tell them, you're running the wrong program, you need to be doing this, and they'll realign that person. You can even download programs from other people. Like, I found, if you have somebody that you admire, you're like, wow, I love how they do that. The program system in your body will go, oh, good. Copy, 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 copy. And they will download, not from that person, but from the matrix or wherever they get programs from. They will download those programs, and all of a sudden you'll notice you start to have programs like that person. So anytime you're admiring somebody, please be careful, because it's a great way to have programs copy what that other person has. They do that. So in other people, there's this interaction that occurs. Yeah, okay, I already said that. So when I first started exploring programs, what I first bumped into is these viewpoints that my body had that, like, well, programs are important. It's kind of like the marketing material, if you will, for the original program paradigm. It's like, programs are important. They give us skills and abilities and ways of doing things. And bodies have been so conditioned with this nonsense that they have forgotten, in many cases, that they're autonomous. They don't fucking need programs at all. At all. They're autonomous. They know how to function. They may use programs like in the early days as training wheels, but once they know, they know. And if you're in a body, you probably chose the body because it was skilled and experienced, not because it was green and it couldn't do anything, right? You didn't choose the body because it was stupid. You chose the body because it was very capable and it was experienced, right? Like, that's why we choose the bodies that we choose. They have a background or experience that seems to align with the purpose or direction that we're headed. So we feel like, yeah, this body can get us to where we're seeking to go. And then we get in the body and we're like, wait, why isn't this working the way this is supposed to be working? Like, it should know how to do this and do that, but it keeps resisting it. What is that? Programs. So it's bodies have this at the surface layer. It's like bodies have these beliefs about, oh, these are beneficial. These help humanity. These help train us to be better bodies. Once you clear through all that stuff and you get down to the truth, no, programs are blackmailing bodies. So there's the surface level programs. When you first started becoming aware of programs, what you usually find first are just the generic, I call them official programs. And they're like, yeah, whatever, you terminate them and it's not a big deal. The body's not terribly attached to those. Then you get down to the programs that I call core programs. And you find that program, you pull that program out, you look at it, and body's like, oh, don't make me go near that. Don't make me do anything with that. Like, and my body was like terrified. I have never seen my body. My body's fearless about most things, like fearless. My body was terrified of that program. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, how could what how does that do that? And it took me a while to figure it out. But what it's actually doing is it's taken gifts, abilities, powers, capacities, that body, and it's also done this to planet. It's blackmailed them. So my body had these things in it that's like I pull out a core program and we go to start terminating, my body's shaking. Like, whoa, it's okay, body, relax, relax. I'd have to calm my body down. I would quiet the program down, and then I'd calm the body down, and body's like, no, we can't do this. And it's like, well, what will happen if we do this? And at first, body wasn't even willing to talk about it. Body's like, I can't say. By the way, programs forbid bodies to talk on their own. If bodies are talking, they can only talk by program or through you talking. Bodies have been forbidden to talk. So if you've ever told your body, like, hey, if something's up, just tell me. Like, say it out loud that I hear it. Bodies are not allowed to do that. Programs do not allow them to do it. That blew my mind. Like, they are coerced using. So when I got down to some of the earlier cores, it was like this program, this core program that I'm trying to clear, has this dirt on my body, or has some aspect of my body's, how do I say it, source? I'll just say a capacity of my body, something very precious to my body. It has that squirreled away, and it's threatened. If you don't do what we say, I'm going to destroy this, and you will never get it back. You will never get it back. One of my first ones was like, I'm going to terminate you and everyone that you've ever interacted with, or everyone that you've ever influenced, or anyone who's ever followed your patterns or your strategies. I'm going to terminate you and everyone that you know and everyone that you care about. That was the first one I found. I'm like, holy shit, these guys play dirty. And they're covered by this superficial, like, oh, we're just here to help you. But you get down to the core, they are not here to help you. They're nasty, 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 nasty. And so we've learned how to calm body, pull the truth out, how to they use all these manipulations to make it impossible to actually figure out what the truth is. Mobius strips, they use a lot of those to just tangle the information. So you go to feel into it, and it's like blah, blah, all over the place. Clear the Mobius strips out, and all of a sudden it's like, what's the truth here? It's like, oh, gross. What are the lies? Oh, was body lied to? So both body and planet have been lied to profoundly and blackmailed. And all the different ones are different, and they hold different things. After you clear enough of that stuff out, now my body's, I don't want to say fearless, it's still slightly hesitant of core. It's like, ooh, that's a core. But then we start to work with it. It's like, okay, not a big deal. Like, that one's safe. So you actually reclaim those pieces that have been taken in the process when you start clearing out core ones. Modules installed. So I found there's these 7 generic categories. Self-care programs, and you could check what % you have these running. In the clearing program, we actually go through these and find what percentages you have and go after the ones that are really big. So self-care programs are like sleeping, eating, keeping clean, exercise. It'll mess with any one of those things. Like, I had programs that would prevent body from exercising. And when I came in, it's like, no, this is going to change. And we'd have this struggle about exercise, but body enjoyed it and wanted it. And I'm like, what is this program that was preventing? I eventually just kept overriding it enough and started doing it, and body loved to do it, so it wasn't hard to do. I couldn't figure out what that resistance was. It's program. Now it's very clear. And now We just clear it and I don't get that resistance. Family programs, your role and status in the family, all that bullshit with family, that's program. The programs are very keen to tell you, you need to do this with your family. You need to honor your family. You need to listen to your father. You need to listen to this. You need to follow this. You need to care what they think about you. Ooh, you strip out those programs and all of a sudden you're like, I don't care. Body just doesn't have that attachment to family anymore. It's really fascinating. Social programs in how your body behaves in social situations, work programs, which even includes your sleep. Like, if you ever noticed, like, you sleep differently before work than you do like on weekends or on times when you're not working. Yeah, there's stuff in there. Your role and your status, like how you should behave, what you should do. Like if you've ever watched your body just like cow down to certain people when you're like, what? Like, there's no reason for that. There's no reason you should be less than around this particular person. Like, they're not doing anything to make you be that way. Programs do that. Programs dictate that. Money programs. This is actually how I originally found programs. I was trying to clear money stuff. This is, I don't know, 12, 13, however many years ago now. And I would clear, but certain things wouldn't clear. And it was like, oh, it's a program thing. Okay, well, how can I change programs? Well, it's a program. I could just issue a command to the program and tell it to terminate. And I'll be damned, it worked. So I had learned how to clear programs a long time ago. I just didn't realize the magnitude of programs. So your beliefs about money, if you cleared your viewpoints about money, but you still do this squirrely stuff around money, and it's like your body's got fear around stuff, or programs. They love messing with people around money. Partnership relationships, I've already talked a lot about that. I won't reiterate it, but who you think you love is programmed. You clear that out and you find you don't even like those people. That's why they're not good for you, and it's not healthy, and it doesn't work, and you feel trapped when you engage those people. It's the programs that are doing that screwy stuff. And intimacy and sexuality. Oh man, do they mess with sexuality? The viewpoints about not even viewpoints, is about what you think you're attracted to, what even turns you on, can be completely programmed. Many people run sex as a program. So if you've ever, and it's not so much that you would feel it as much maybe, but you could feel it with other people. Like you be sexual with them and you're like, it's like I'm having sex with a robot, or like they're not there. It's just this almost mechanical thing. Like they disappear and this mechanical thing happens. That's program you're having sex with. It's not the person. The program takes over the body. The program has sex with you. Congratulations. I've had sex with a lot of programs. It's the scariest thing, but it explains a lot of weird shit that you're like, oh, what's going on? So digging out. The biggest thing is becoming aware. Like, and that's why I'm driving this to start with. I want you to see this as much as you can. But in the clearing program that I've got, call it program, the clearing video series, I'll call it a video series instead of program. Too many program words. So in the video series, like, we're going to step through slowly and look at detail of things, and we're going to walk you through. I want you to go deep when you're looking for these things. I want you to see them, and that's my intention with this here. Is I wanted to share it in a way where you could feel and see and get the quality of these programs, because the more aware, in order to clear them, you have to be aware of them. It's not like you can go, what are all the programs here? I throw them all in the pile, we terminate them. No, that you have to kind of call them out by either noticing them or noticing what they do, or it's best to do it when you see them. So it's like all of a sudden your body's behaving weirdly. You notice, oh, there's a program doing that. Okay, what are all the programs here? And I literally grab the energy of the program and I throw it against the wall and smash it against the wall. It's like freeze lock. It's like, you're not going anywhere. Up against the wall. Yeah, I don't know. That's just, I'm not very happy with programs, you might say. So they can be so subtle, so subtle. They make egregores and entities like egregores and entities are so big and clumsy and obvious. These are so subtle because they feel like your body, but there's something controlling your body. So it is actually your body, but it's not your authentic body doing it of its own accord. It's a program making your body do it. And it can be very, very subtle. So awareness is what allows you to go deeper and perceive the layers and the layers below that and the layers below that. So the process of digging out of these programs is a process of becoming aware of all the different ways that these programs manipulate you and your body. And it takes a bit. Like I'm not so much shocked anymore because I think I've seen most of it or almost all of it, but it's like, oh, they can do that too. The number of times I said, oh, they can do that too, I had no clue, was a lot. So digging out from programs, another component here is choosing to own, control, and dominate your body. And this is distasteful for infinite beings. We don't like to be controlled. We certainly don't want to be dominated, and we don't want to be owned. Like it's no, it's just a hard no, right? Your body needs to be owned, feel like you own it, that you control it, and that you dominate it. And it doesn't mean you got to be like, body, damn it, you need to do this. It's just, this is my body. I control this body. I tell this body what to do because it's my body. It's my avatar. It's my body. It's just very matter of fact. This is my body. I own it. I operate it. It does what I say it to do, right? Your being, if I were to tell your being that, your being would, but your body goes, thank you. Your body wants you to control it. Why? Because if you don't own, control, and dominate your body, the matrix is very happy to and already has. So we come into these bodies and we're like, oh, there's a lot of weird stuff here. And oh, there's entities, and oh, there's occupants, and oh, and we're trying to make sense of all this. And we don't want to be demanding of anything because we haven't figured this thing out yet. It's like we're asking for opinion, we're asking for advice. But if you don't take ownership and control over your body, everything else in this reality is happy to. So it's the same thing I said with egregores. If you don't say, this is my body, get out, you don't belong here, then they feel like they belong here. And they can control things to some degree. Programs can do way more. But it's, again, if your goal is to become sovereign and free and have your life yours and not be controlled by the matrix, you need to own, control, and dominate your body. Your body will thank you for it. I know it sounds weird. The way we think, we're like, no, that's so crazy. It's something we need to do. Because if you don't control it, somebody else is going to. The other thing I've learned here is working with the body to bring awareness and feeling comfortable releasing them. So bodies have this nervousness about releasing programs. They've been so blackmailed that you need to actually be dominant in your body. Number two. So you're like, body, I will take care of you. I know this program's nasty. I know this program feels like it's threatening you. I will protect you, right? Even if you don't know what you're doing, you fake it because you know more, like you have more control than your body does over those programs. So you're standing strong in your body and calming your body and going, I will take care of this. So if you're the kind of person where if your body gets nervous, you get nervous too, and you both turn into a nervous wreck, then you're going to want to learn to stand up and go, oh, my body's nervous. That's my body nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm going to stand strong and go, what's the matter, body? Like, I'm here. You don't have to be nervous. What's wrong? How can I help you? How can I care for you? So you're standing in your body and protecting your body, coaching your body, guiding your body is necessary here, because we not only need to get body to let go of this, we need to get the planet to let go of this. And we've gotten way better at doing this. It goes way faster than we've done with other things when we were clearing occupants and stuff, and the planet would just go on and on. And it's we've figured out tricks for doing this now, but you need to be willing to comfort your body and be there for your body, stand up for your body, and be in charge. Your body is going to require it to confront those programs that have basically, in a lot of cases, threatened your body's total extermination, right? I don't think they can do it. They've played these weird games, and they've taken things that your body thought were really, really important and thought it really, really needed. I don't think it really does, but your body thinks it does, and that's what's important. That's what caused body to be able to be blackmailed in that way. So your willingness to stand up for your body. And the last thing is, I think it's the last thing, yeah, being vigilant about looking for and clearing things that don't feel right. So if you don't have a daily practice of clearing, which I 100% recommend that at least once, if not twice a day, beginning of the day, end of the day, I do it at my shower time. I do it morning shower, night shower. I do clearing. Anything funky that I picked up overnight while sleeping, going in the pile, I'm going to clear that. Anything that's feeling wobbly in my body, clear that. Now that I know, I clear programs. Any programs that were installed overnight, in the pile, we clear those. Any programs that are active currently, in the pile, I clear all that stuff. That's a morning routine. If you don't have a clearing routine, this is going to be really hard to see the subtlety of programs, because other things are noisier. Entities are noisier. Egregores can be very distracting. So if you have entities and egregores hanging out around your space, then programs are subtle and very quiet. You're not going to be able to notice those because you got the other noise going on. So this really requires, and it's the reason I call this an advanced program. This is not for beginners. You need to know how to clear. You need to get the concept of being able to work with the planet and clearing. Even if you haven't done a lot with it, you need to be able to get that you can guide and facilitate the planet in clearing. And you need to be able to have basic skills with guiding your body. So for that reason, I consider this an advanced program. If you have not yet handled egregores, well, I guess you could do it without it. It's just, there's more noise in the system, and these guys are a little bit more subtle. But once you focus, yeah, you can focus, you could figure it out. Yeah, so I'm going to retract what I just said. You could, even if you didn't clear egregores, you could still figure out programs. So most people get used to just accepting what's going on in their body. It's like, oh, this is the way it is. really you need to get to a space where you have a commitment to feeling good and feeling clear and feeling you, being you and doing you. Because if you're in a space where it's like, oh, it's okay, I'll just deal with it. Oh, this feels like shit, but all right, I'll just get along with it. Programs will take any form, how do I say it? They'll stand in almost any energy. They could stand in sadness. So you could be in a space where you're like feeling on top of the world and you're like, wow, I feel so great. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you start to feel sad. And if you accept sad is okay, and oh, I guess I should be sad, not that I have a reason for it, but sad is okay, programs will keep running sad over and over and over and over and over again. And you'll be like, I've been sad for a week now, and I don't know why. Programs. You clear programs, sad goes away. But if you accept it as being okay in your reality, programs will keep doing it. And it's there. And you won't see it because you'll be going, oh, well, I guess I'm probably sad because my life isn't as good as I like. No. When you're clear, so let me give you a bottom line. When you're clear, when you're being 100% authentically you, and there's no interference in your world, you're just going to feel good. Period. When I could be feeling super shitty and blah, 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 blah. I could have any story, whatever. I do clearing. I get out of all that stuff. I just feel good. Feeling good is your natural state of being. It's how you're supposed to live. It's normal, or supposed to be normal, right? But if you've been on this planet for a while, you probably noticed it's not really very normal to feel really good. All this weird shit seems to be more normal. It's not normal. If you accept it, it stays there. It's really your willingness to not tolerate it and not accept it and go, no, damn it, I'm here to feel good and I'm going to keep clearing shit until I feel good. That attitude is going to get you to freedom. That attitude is going to get you to your sovereign space. Accepting not feeling good ain't going to get you there because they'll use whatever you accept. If you accept feeling dizzy, if you accept feeling sleepy, if you accept feeling whatever, they'll use that to slow you down or to stall you or to just make your life miserable. Like, I'm sorry to be so negative about this, but I want to let you know it's what they do. They're not here to make you happy, contrary to what you may the marketing material said about programs originally. They're not here to make you happy. So, yeah, that's my spiel about programs. What questions do you have? Because there are things I may not have thought to explain yet, but when you ask a question, it will help me to open up and explain more depth. So, anybody got a question about programs?
Hi, Jason. I have
Hey.
a question.
Yeah.
Hi. So are aging also programs? Like, is it a program installed in our body that we have to age and we have to do certain things at certain times
So
in our life?
there,
Disease.
yes and no. So what I've seemed to uncover is you can have viewpoints that generate aging, like social viewpoints. Yeah, you're over 30, so this is going to happen. You're over 40, so that's going to happen. So you can have the viewpoints. Programs enforce those. So programs will kick in things. Like I've had things kick in with vision, and I'm like, you can hear the thing. It's like, oh, well, you're getting old, so your vision's going to do that. And it's like, I didn't accept that. I'm like, no. And I cleared programs, all of a sudden vision clears up. I'm like, bastards. So programs will do that. So there are manipulations of this reality, viewpoints, programs will do that. The other component that I found is then stress. So being under stress causes aging in the body. So it's like the programs are keen to generate stress. Egregores are keen to generate stress. Stupid shit in this reality is keen to generate stress. So you can clear. So to me, if you're looking to clear the aging paradigm, it's clearing the viewpoints that you have about aging, and it's like all bogus, all garbage. Clearing the programs that enforce aging, and then reorganizing your life in a way where you're not stressed out over things. Like you have an enjoyable life. Your life feels good to you. That actually is restorative. That brings back vitality. Like before, I don't know, 15 years ago, I felt way older and could not do the things that I do today, did not have the energy that I have today, did not have the motivation, drive, the exercise, the vitality. Like I didn't have that back then. After I clear all this stupid garbage, all of a sudden it's just natural. I feel younger than I did 10, 15 years ago, even though technically I'm 15 years older. Think life just is easier. Life is smoother. I seem to have more energy. Life is more simple. So it's that stress component is the other aspect that I found. Viewpoints, programs, stress. My interesting point of view to date.
Thank you, Jason. Jason, is another question. In your opinion, hmm, what is the authentic body's blueprint? I mean, how would the authentic body like to function? What is its preference to function?
It's difficult to answer that generically because bodies have different blueprints. They're not all the same. There are patterns of bodies, and that's what I call blueprints. It's like there are bodies that are like this, there are bodies like that, there are bodies like this, there are bodies like that. And each body also has, based on its past lives and its past explorations, it has things that it likes to explore personally. So there are unique things that are there, but how can I answer that question? I don't have a generic thing for you. The only generic ones are ones that I've already shared, and that's that bodies want to assist you. They want to do whatever you want. They're completely in service to you. They want to help you in any way they possibly can all the time, unless they're being dominated by other energies that won't let them do that. That's probably the most useful information in terms of patterns of bodies. Beyond that, it's different. So I don't have a good answer for you.
Okay, so I've noticed this a lot in my body, like my body trying to help me, but then I've noticed something else, or maybe a program stop my body from helping me.
Yeah.
Because then
Yeah.
I share my disappointment with my body. I'm like, you said you'll be there.
Yeah.
And then my body goes quiet.
Yeah. And if you push body will say, I can't. It won't explain why it can't. It's not allowed to say why it can't. It just says, I'm sorry, I can't. I wish I could. I want to. I can't. My body was literally
Yes.
crying, saying, I can't. I want to help. I can't. They're trapped until we clear it.
Yes, because my body didn't want to eat what I ate today before the class. My body
Mhm.
was telling me, but then my body also wanted to eat what I ate today. So it was very mixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then when the class started, my body was like, see, I told you,
Yeah.
this is what happened.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. That's that thing. So when you look for it, it's like, how much does my authentic body want this? How much does my authentic body want that? You can even go, how much, and this works. How much does program want this? How much does body want that? And you'll program will say, oh yeah, no, I do. I want that. It wants to be seen, even if it reveals itself. It's trippy. It's not, it doesn't think clearly the way we do. Anybody else? Questions?
Hey, Jaden, it's Joe again
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Can we do some clearance today to just open it up?
That I can't.
Okay,
It is,
that's fine.
there's enough, there's so many other things that I need to put in place first that it would take,
Yep.
like the first call that like if you get the video, the first call is like 3 hours long, just setting up what's required in order to get started.
Yeah,
so
I've listened to a few.
It's
yeah,
not,
I've listened to a few of the
it's
videos.
not complicated to do. It's actually very simple, but navigating the weirdness it takes a bit to get the stuff. So yeah, I'm not prepared to do that today. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Listen,
Yeah.
I've listened to a few of the videos already, and yeah, I know the background of it. So
Cool.
no, that's
Cool.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? But it's powerful stuff, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and when I looked at it, it's like, what's the best I could do in the short time that I have? I'm actually a little over time here, but and it's like, if I could give you the capacity to perceive where they're functioning in your life, you could choose different than that. Like, they're still there niggling away at you, but you could ignore them. You could notice that's program. I'm not doing that, and do something else. So that seemed like that was the most I could, the most powerful thing.
I have noticed that since I came across this material, and I can see where the programs are. And
cool.
I fully intend to kind of stay on my body and kick the shit out of it.
Yeah. And like having, like, I've discovered this in, I think it was December 23. So was that 5-6 months ago from the date of this recording? And I'm still discovering subtleties that I didn't recognize before. And I've been doing this hardcore for over 5 months now. So it's definitely a process of becoming aware of it, layer by layer by layer by layer. That's the core thing for me.
Okay, man. Thanks, Jed.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cool. Other questions?
I'm noticing, this is Julie, just being on this call, like a while ago, I started feeling yucky, gross, sick. It's like it's bringing up something. Just
so
to let you know.
what are is that entities, the egregores? Egregore. So what are all the exploiters, tricksters, corruptors, demonic, satans, devils, she-devils, lucifers, angels, seraphim, gods, aliens, archons, light beings, and other egregore thought forms? Pre-type, pre-encapsulate, freeze, step down, trace, stress, scan, ideal. Wow. Where were we, the infinite being, at their creation? So what we do is we tag them, and where were we at their creation? And you just perceive that this space and time, and you just mark the energies you feel at their creation. At their assembly, just feel those energies, mark those energies. Where were we at their gilding? Mark those energies. Where were we at their sourcing? Mark those energies. Where were we at their inception? not many, but there are some, mark those. At their insertion, mark those. At their modification, mark those. At their corruption, mark those. At their distortion, ooh, pretagment capsate. Wow, pretagment capsate. Now, we used to banish those. You'll learn if you take the program. We have another way, and I'll do it with you now. I accidentally learned you can terminate egregores, which starts to call into question the nature of our reality. This program is gonna, this video series is gonna start, you start to see this reality different than you've ever seen it before, because you're gonna go, oh, if we can just shut down programs, what does that mean about our reality? So we've got all these egregores that we've tagged, and then I'll say, all intercessions exterminate, all intercommunications exterminate, all interconnections exterminate, all programs, machines, data streams terminate, all programs, machines, data streams exterminate. And you can feel things just kind of like, it just,
Yeah, I felt woo already.
yeah, yeah. That's actually the new egregore clearing. Once you've learned programs, you understand it in a different way. But you can terminate egregores. Yeah. Before we're just kind of kicking them out. Now they cease to exist. They're terminated. They're gone. I'm like, yeah.
I love that.
I do.
I love it.
It made me very happy. Cool. Other questions?
Jaden.
Yeah.
How about other spirits that you said that aggregate you can terminate it? How about others like demons and
All of them.
other attachments?
All of them.
Same method?
All the ones all the demonic, Satan's, devils, she devils, Lucifers, angels, seraphim, gods, aliens, archons, light beings, and a whole raft of other ones. You can terminate them. They're programs. I'm not going to say program. They have been programmed, so you can terminate them. I'm going to say just generically, because I've left these big questions open. There's no, I'm not going to get into it. We'll get into it in the course. It would take me way too long, and I'm already over time. I'm sorry, but yeah,
I get it. Yeah.
So entities, authentic ghosts, spirits, you can't terminate. You got to cross them over. Truth, who are you? Who are you before that? Who are you before that? Who are in existence for that? Who will you be in the future? Who will be in all the futures after that? What was your job for that? Blah, 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 blah. And you cross them over. Those don't terminate because they're not the same thing. But I always thought spirits were beings. They're not. Blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. Changed the way I look at this whole reality. Blew my mind.
Yeah, different point of view, like a program. What makes sense?
Yeah.
What makes sense? Really.
Yeah. So
wow.
It's the more you explore with it, your awareness starts to see reality differently. It becomes
I know what you mean.
less real, or less not. There's an overlay here. It's not all of reality. There's a 3D solid reality, and then there's this overlay on reality. We're affecting this overlay, this program technological matrix overlay that's on this reality. That is pretty good at controlling things so far. I aim to change that.
Yeah, so, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Questions? Okay. So if this is interesting to you, so again, this is a more advanced program. If you don't know anything about clearing, this is not a good place to start, because this assumes you already know how to clear. You already can do a little bit of getting information on your own. Like you'll need to have a sense of heavier, lighter, or using what is it called? Where muscle testing, or however you do muscle, what, or pendulum, or you'll need some way of getting information on your own from your body, and you'll need to understand clearing, the basics of clearing. If you haven't done that, or don't know the difference between you and your body, this is going to be maybe a bit much. In a couple months, theoretically, I'm going to start doing, my working title is the Ultimate Body Course. I don't have a real title for it yet, but I'm going to start for beginners with, I'll mute you here. I'm going to start with beginners with the basics of understanding your body, finding the difference between you and your body, clearing, figuring out how to get information from your body, understanding the natural systems in your body for heavier and lighter, and we'll go into programs. So it'll be a longer course. So if you're beginner and you're not familiar with all this stuff, don't start with this program. But many of the people who are in my audience here have already done access consciousness, or have done my work, or they know, you know clearing, you know the basics. So this is for you. This, you can start this right away. There's currently seven videos in there. For how far we are today, we still keep finding more. We still keep going deeper, and my goal is to rip the entire program system out. And I'm not there yet. I will get there. I am determined to get there. This will change. So as new developments, if you bought the program, you'll get those updates as well. So most of the 7 videos are pre-recorded already. There'll be 2 live Q&As for anybody who gets this video series. There'll be one in June. We're now in June, or coming up to June. For some of you, it's tomorrow. And so later on in June, we'll do a live Q&A because I want to give you a space where you can check in and you can go, okay, am I doing this right? Am I am I perceiving things correctly? What percent have I cleared so far? What percent is still there to clear? Like, I want to be able to support you directly with finding information, getting numbers, any questions you have, answering those questions. I'll automatically answer any questions you have by email, but the time to answer the more complicated or tricky things, or just make sure that things are working for you. And then I'll do it again in July. When you start to get into core programs, it's useful to do at least one round with me of clearing. So if you're there and I'll try to make time, but we'll go through and I'll practice with you the core clearing, because it's a little tricky when you first started. I've given you tons of examples, and if you're aware and you can perceive and track energies, you can totally track what we're doing, and you can see how we do it, and you can feel what we're sensing and what we're using to clear. But if you can't, I want to give you a Q&A in July that you can access that too. So if you get this program after July, you won't get those Q&As. You'll get the recordings of them, but you won't get the personal one-on-one with me. But again, I'm always there to answer emails. If you bought the program, I'm always here to guide you. You ask me a question, I can give you questions, or give you things to look at, or help you to make sense of things. So yeah, I've already said it's advanced. Yeah, I've got an introductory body. I've already said all that stuff. So any questions on this? So this is available currently. I should let me see if I can do this. Copy link. Let's see if it works. Copy link. And I'm going to open the chat. Yeah, where do I find the chat? There it is. Chat. Boop, boop, boop. And I'm going to paste. It's not working. Okay. Well, I will go get it in another way. So I'll paste the link for you. If you're interested in this program, you can get it. You can get it soon. If you're, type this in, program. And anyone else have any other questions while I'm getting this here?
One of the things, Jaden, it's Lynette.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed when we got started on because we bought the program.
Oh, good.
With the course,
Good.
and have started on it. But one of the things I noticed was that it's like stirring a bee's hive kind of thing. And each one of the programs has their little entourage of warning keys, commands, and booby traps. Yeah, if you do this, you're gonna die.
Oh yeah. They're threatening. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
and looping fear projectors and doubt projectors.
Yep.
And so we noticed that we needed to just first we made a list of all the programs that we were conscious of so far, and then we have been asking for awareness to fill the spaces that we clear each time we have a session.
Yeah.
So that nothing else gets to move in and take spots up.
It doesn't need to be as sophisticated as you're making it, but
oh good.
for people who love looking at the details of things, and you are, like, you're like me, like you love looking at the mechanics of like what's going on behind there. You don't need all the mechanics. You can just terminate the program, but it's cool to watch all the things. But yeah, they will.
Well, I noticed now, as soon as I knew that they were going to threaten me every time I tried to clear something, that now I'm not afraid anymore, you know?
Right. Yeah, you get to
that was important.
The surface level ones, they don't challenge you. The you get into core ones, they'll threaten you, they'll threaten body. But you get to a place where when you watch it, it's like, I throw it up against the wall, I terminate it. and
this is my body.
It's just gone. So it requires a certain amount of boldness to do this, because they will try to manipulate.
Yeah, and another thing I noticed was that once I found a program, I saw a picture in my head. It was almost like a genealogy map of when I drink, I shop. When I shop, I buy things I don't need. When I buy things I don't need, and
they connect to each other. Yeah.
And it's like a little drop down menu or something.
Yeah. And sometimes you can grab them that way. It's like, okay, what are all the programs that are up around this, up against the wall, and what are all the programs that are connected to that and connected to that and connected to that? And sometimes you can grab the whole cascade. Not always. It varies.
Okay. It is.
Try it.
Cascade.
Absolutely try it. Yeah. They're connected and they trigger each other. But the more it's cool that you watch that. Like that's the awareness part. Once you watch that, they can't play the same games anymore because you see them. So it's nice job. Nice job.
Thanks so much for this.
You're welcome. This is revolutionary stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I found more questions here. Programs on female hormones and the idea of menopause is hell. It goes beyond so programs can directly manipulate hormones. So my body's hormones were at a certain level, and I've been supplementing with testosterone. And at one point, they decided to kick up a storm, and this is the early days before I kind of figured out what they're capable of. And all of a sudden, my testosterone level went super high. the programs allowed my body to make naturally testosterone again, where they had turned it off before to sabotage me. Now they were trying to sabotage me by, here I'm adding a supplement of testosterone, and all of a sudden they spiked it, and this was on top of it, and it went off the charts, like literally went off the charts in what science can measure. And I learned programs can mess with hormones, and we got those out really quick. So it's not the idea of menopause as hell. They can make menopause hell, or they can mess with your hormones to throw off the balance. They can't do it easily or quickly, but they can do it. So yeah, menstruation, a lot of bleeding. You got a variety of things going on there. Programs are part of it. There's something biological going on with it as well. Do we get a PDF of this presentation? Yes, with the recording, I'll send out everything that you've seen on the screen. Yeah, from Brazil. Understand. Okay. I'm just looking to answer any other questions. Yep. Okay. I think I got them all. So, okay. So yeah, if you're interested in changing this, and you're feeling like it's time to change, I do recommend this. If this doesn't feel time, just become aware and notice when, just start to sift through. It's like, how much is this my authentic body? How much is this program? Just that awareness is going to give you more control over your reality, and they're going to have less capacity to mess around in your reality because you can see it and you can choose different then. You can override it. They can get really strong. Like if you've ever explored with addictions, they can be really strong. It feels like I need to drink or I need to take that substance. It's like, that's the program that's forcing your body. But you can go, no, I see you, program. We are not going there. And the more they are, if you don't buy it, you don't let them run it, you don't let body fulfill that, they will change their strategy. They'll stop running that program. It'll take a while. They will stop running that program and they'll try something different. So just your awareness can shut down programs. So that's why I wanted to do what I did. So thank you all for joining, and keep trying, keep clearing, keep aiming for the better life. Keep aiming for that life that feels good, that life that you desire, the life that you know you can have, even if you don't have it. It is possible. You will get there if you keep intending. If you give up, different story. But if you keep choosing it, you'll find a way to get there. You will find a way to get there. I've seen so many people cross over these impossible hurdles just by choosing it. And honestly, that's how I've gotten to where I've gotten. It's not that I'm more brilliant than anybody else. It's I am so, this is going to fucking change, and I am not going to tolerate this shit, that I won't give up. I will not give up. This is going to change. And that attitude creates change. So be that dominance, be that person who is like, this is going to change. So thank you all for coming with, and we'll see you in the next program. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thanks, Jared.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you
You're welcome.
so much.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. You're welcome.